And we are live.
Hey, everybody.
Danny. Danny, what's this? What's this thing I got going on here?
You've got so many freaking ailments. So somebody open a door on your head? What is it?
No, I blame my brother, my older brother. You know what he did? When I was like 8 years old or something, we were running around the basement, and he hit me like poof, on my back, and I went face first into a wooden steps, and I caught the wooden step right on my forehead, and I ended up with this big honking bump on my forehead. I looked like a unicorn. I had this big bump on my head.
So then it went away, but now you still have this dent
now I got
forever?
this dent here. I'm sure that's where that came from.
Well, listen, I'll tell you what you can do. I saw this on YouTube. You get YouTube at your house?
I've heard of it.
What you have to do, you get a hairdryer. You put the hairdryer on here and you let it go, and you let it get real hot. You let it go for 10 minutes. I'm serious. Then you get a can of that compressed air, spray it on there, and the dent pops right out. Works on cars. I bet it would work on that head of yours. You should try it.
I was thinking, and if that doesn't work, I'll poke a hole and then use a syringe and fill it with air so that it pops.
Oh. No, Dwight, that's dangerous. Take the hairdryer. Yeah. Shoot it on your head for 10 minutes until it gets red, and then some compressed air. Then a big pop, or a suction cup. Put a suction cup right here. And Should work.
Should work. It's God. We got to do something, because it's funny looking.
Yeah. See, Patty just said in the chat. She said use a plunger. Same thing.
Same thing.
Oh, you want to hear something gross? Hey, everyone, keep coming in. Just don't mind us. So something going on with our kitchen sink. And every time I turn on the dishwasher, the sink starts to overflow. And I was worried that it was going to overflow into the kitchen. And I'm like, I don't know what to do. And so I ran into the bathroom and grabbed the plunger. I thought, I'm going to force this down. So and then I realized, like, what the hell am I doing? This is a toilet plunger in my sink, the kitchen sink. So then, but then I thought, well, it's already dirty. So I put that in there, and then I went to Target and got a new plunger and put the new one in the bathroom. I'm like, what am I doing?
That's backwards, Danny boy. Hey, everybody. Can you hear us? Can you see us? Give us a yo if you can. We want to know everybody's here. We need to see a few more people get in the room there. I only sent out the one email about this second part, and I don't know if everybody got it. So I'm going to have to send out a couple of emails for the next pot of this pot series. All right.
Well, this whole series is actually turning into something pretty cool. Like, we're kind of planning the next couple calls, and we were stupid to call it a 3-part series.
Yeah, they're not that smart, really. No. All right, let's get to it. Everybody can watch it on replay that's not here right now. Let me share my screen. Share. Boom.
The world famous atomic testing method.
That's it. World famous.
And this is a system that we developed. It's kind of a part of that system we're going to talk about today. It's this, like the title says there, tilting the odds in your favor. If there is a way to guarantee success with any product you launch, this is most likely the first step, right? You have to test. And, the reality is testing is really important. So you might ask yourself, why should you test? And I know that in the past, like, we would rarely test, honestly, because, we think we're smarter than we are.
Well, we've proven time and time and time again that we are not smart as we think we are.
Well, yeah, and you know what? Like when you have somebody as talented as Marv, our designer, every design he does looks awesome. And we're like, holy shit, this is the next $1 million idea. Every design I ever look at that Marv does, every design I've ever done, every design my wife does, or like
Well, I've
Dwight.
seen some of the designs you've done, Danny boy. And
Well,
let me just say they're not all $1 million ideas. But
well,
Mark, the
listen, I
golden
created
boy.
the golden boy. I created this slide, and look how I tilted that light bulb. Could Marv do that with his precious? I'm from Disney. Maybe he could. I don't. So my point is that a lot of times when you come up with a design, you fall in love with it. And every marketer tells you, don't do that. Don't fall in love with your design. But bottom line is, it's hard to break up with something you created. Right? I mean,
Yeah.
So that's why we came up with this method. And this is after years and years of testing.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
so the goal of the atomic testing method is to shatter stupid illusions that you have about your own stuff, you know?
yeah,
And we've told our students for years, don't fall in love with your designs because you might be the only person on the planet that would buy it.
mm-hmm.
Right? So,
and unless you're going to buy it from yourself and buy 5,000 copies of it, it's probably not worth it.
yeah. Yeah. So we test because we want to expose the products to our audience. We want to identify any weaknesses in the design or the product or the saying or the message, or find any strengths. See what the feedback is from the audience. And
Yeah.
most importantly, we want to reduce the risk of failure. We want to take that information and then go to market with a product that's already got the type of feedback we need to make sure that we can sell it when we actually start spending money on a full-blown advertising campaign.
And that's the thing. Like, you probably guessed we will have to advertise in order to do some testing. But the trick is, how do you get the cheapest advertising? How do you get it in front of the audience? So, they can tell you yay or nay. They can go thumbs up, thumbs down. So how we do it, we do product research, and we'll make a post, something like this. And this is a real thing we just did. We'll make a post that says, in this case, obviously we're trying to target dog lovers and rescue dog people. So I just made a post that says, attention dog lovers, comment below. Comment below with 1, 2, 3, or 4 to help us pick which product we launch next. Now, the reality is we liked all of these designs, and we're going to launch one in the dog market. Well, which one do we launch? I mean, we have zero clue. All of these in our mind should work, right? I mean, that is fair to say. Like, in my mind, I would buy any of these, but how do we know for sure? And that's the whole point. So what we did, we made this post. I made a PSD file with 1, 2, 3, 4 and a little crosshair, put 4 products in there, and we're going to run an ad. Now, when it comes to running the ad, we're just going to set the campaign up just like we did in yesterday's call. It's going to be an engagement ad, a page post engagement, because that's what we want. We want engagement, right? So we want to pick engagement under campaign setup, and then we're under objective, and we're just going to name it something. Again, remember the whole point of this, we're not taking them off of Facebook. We want them to comment. We want them to use Facebook as Mark Zuckerberg pictures it being used, right? If Zuckerberg's happy, he gives us cheap ads. So we don't want to link anywhere. We just want to say, we're going to comment below with his ad. So we're going to make a very simple page post engagement ad. Now let's talk a little bit about the audience makeup. So kind of no doy, right? We want to target the people we think are going to buy. And if I should say this, if this test works out, this is the targeting we would use to launch, because we're using, you know what I mean? Like, we took our best shot at coming up with an audience. So again, we do this typical people who live in this location. We always like to do that. We're going to pick United States because we want a big number. We always go 35 to 64 females. That's just how we do it. Most of our buyers fall into that range. So let's talk a little bit about targeting. Dwight, you can talk about the targeting if you want.
Well, with dog rescue or pet rescue or anything like that, we want to get as big a number as we can, but we want it to be fairly targeted. So we're always going to use 2 levels of targeting. So one, we're going to pick the largest audience, which would be something like dog owners. Okay, that's a behavior, it's a purchase behavior, and we want to get, that's a large audience. But then we want to fine tune dog owners, because there's a lot of dog owners that don't actually participate in pet rescue or dog rescue or anything like that. So then we're going to pick some secondary interests, such as the ones we show you here: big fluffy dog rescue, humane society, puppy rescue mission, and they're literally, in our case on this test, there are tons of dog rescue, pet rescue interests on Facebook. So we're able to get a fairly large number. Now, because this is just a test for, which product or which design do they like, we just want to get, it targeted enough so that we can get reasonable assurance that when somebody sees it, they like it, and they'll give us the response that we're looking for.
Now, what I like about what you just said about we target dog owners as a big group, and then all these rescues, or a handful of rescues. Now, what's cool about this, if we didn't target dog owners, you could ask pretty much any person in the world, hey, do you like the Humane Society? Well, yeah, no shit. Right? Like, I got nothing against them. Do you like the big fluffy dog rescue? Sure. I mean, who wouldn't like an interest like that? But by putting dog owners in there, it's like kind of forcing them, it's weeding them out. Like, okay, everyone, is going to like big fluffy dog rescue if you ask them, but are you a dog owner? If you're a dog owner and you like these things, that's probably the audience we want, right? I don't think I'd go any deeper than this, but this does open us up. If the test is successful and we want to launch, we can just start doing a billion ad sets. We could go dog owners and blah, blah, blah dog rescue, dog owners and blah, blah, blah dog rescue, and go with a single and a single.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Now, the placements are going to be pretty much the same as they were yesterday. Our standard is we always just do the feeds, and we go all devices. We do mobile and desktop, and we just make sure we're just going with the feeds. We always click on for mobile. Is it on the screen? We want to make sure they're connected, to Wi-Fi. Very simple stuff. We just want to make sure that people are in a place where they can actually focus and they're not, walking down the street.
Yeah.
So the budget, very interesting. The more you test, the more you test, the more data you're going to have. Okay. But we want to try to get by with $25.
Yeah. You don't want to break the bank. You just want to generate enough traffic to get some feedback, to be able to make your decision based on the feedback that you got back. So $25 is reasonable, and it goes 2 ways. One is you could get a large amount of feedback, in the passion niches. You could get a large amount of feedback, get it, whatever. You could put something up, and when $25, you get very little feedback. Well, guess what? Go back to the drawing board, because you didn't don't spend more money. That initial test one told you that, this is a passion niche. They're lots of feedback. You can start to analyze which one they like the most, that sort of thing. It's all great. If you got nothing back, well, guess what? All 4 of them suck. You know, go back to the drawing board and come up with something that, you know, evokes a stronger emotion in your audience. So
Yeah.
$25 is kind of that perfect range for analyzing, you know, amount of traffic, type of feedback, and stuff like that. So there's more than just one decision to make, you know, or there's more than one decision that could be made based on the feedback or lack of feedback that you're getting with this budget.
So yeah, let's take a look at the next step then, because the next step is after the ad is run and you spent your $25, you want to start looking at those comments. Sorry, what's in my mouth? And you start looking. Now, this brings us to like the majority of our comments that we got for this test was, I like them all. Sorry, I can't pick. I love them all. Love, love, love all of them. All
Doesn't help.
Yeah, we call that the don't get happy rule. Like, just don't get happy. You don't have a winner. You don't have 4 winners. You got 4 things that are similar, and you have, that's it. You got 4 similar things. There's nothing positive about any of them. I mean, I guess it's better than I hate them all. I don't like any of them. Sorry, I can't pick. Well, then I would stop. If the majority of your comments are, wow, all these blow. Oh, okay. So we ran $25. We looked at all the comments. And like I said, the majority of them all, I love all of them. Okay, well, we instantly take all of those out. That doesn't help us. Then we start looking at the numbers. Well, it was virtually a tie. There were 2 that were slightly higher. But you wanna go until you have a clear winner. Now, you could have a clear winner after $10. If everyone says number 1, 9 people say number 1, and 1 person says number 4, well, good chance that, you know, number 1 is going to be the winner. So as soon as you can determine what the clear winner is, that's your winner. Now, in this case, we let it ran and we let it go for more than $25. I forgot what we went up to, but way more than we wanted to. But we were trying to do this case study for you so we could kind of give you all the options. So what we did, we looked at the one, we tallied everything up, and we noticed that 2 of the designs were slightly higher.
Okay, so give me in the chat which of these 4 designs which of the 2 were the 2 that were virtually tied for the lead. Let's see if you guys can pick them out of this 4.
And if you can't read the one, number 3 says dogs because people suck. That is really funny. Number 1 is adopt, don't shop. Number 2 is abuse any animal, go to jail. Should be that simple. And number 4 is I rescued my best friend.
So I've got some 1 and 4, 1 and 4. I don't know what a 4 is, but
Donna is going 44. You have to scroll down and see option 40. Yeah, that's actually something good, Donna. You only want to go with maybe 4. You don't want to give people 4. Which one of these you like? Comment with 1, 2, 3, 44. Like, holy shit.
3 and 4, 2 and 3. 3 and 4, 2 and 3. No stuffed up. No stuffed up. Adopt, don't shop.
Well, that would clearly be my favorite. Adopt, don't shop is an awesome design. I love the whole, message behind it.
Well, I didn't see anybody actually. Some of you picked one of them, and some of you picked the other one of them, but I don't think anybody actually picked the right pair. But let's have a look.
That's the whole point, though. Shatter the illusions. These were the 2 top ones.
Yeah.
Abuse any animal, go to jail. It should be that simple. And I rescued my best friend. Okay, well, we still do not have a solid answer. We a clear winner. So this time we tried to do a 2-banger. Now it's like comment below with 1 or 2. And we did something that we call a conversion booster on here. So if you can see, it says, attention dog lovers, comment below with 1 or 2 to help us pick which product we launch next. And with every vote, we'll feed a shelter dog today. Sometimes you're lucky enough to find a charity that you can tie into. And obviously, if they're into shelter dogs or animal abuse or rescuing dogs, that would be a very nice carrot to dangle in front of them. Or shall I say dog bone? Thank you.
Oh, you're so funny, Danny.
So now let's look at this. Now in the comment, everyone comment. Just pick your favorite, 1 or 2.
1 or 2. Which one was the winner?
Don't those mock-ups look beautiful?
Beautiful. They're beautiful.
Doesn't it look like we made some cups and took pictures of them? I'm going to tell you right now, we did not. Let's see.
Wow.
A lot of people is boy, look at this.
Look at this. This is crazy.
Which one of these 2 would you rather buy, Dwight, if you had to buy one?
If I was buying one?
Yes. I know you don't. You're an asshole who doesn't like dogs.
About the dogs. I'm so funny. Personally, I would go with number 1 because I like making a bold, strong statement. I rescued my best friend's way too schmaltzy for me.
Yeah. Well,
so I only see one person having said the right number. It's the right number.
Now, how crazy is that? So let's take a look and do the final analysis. This is now where we actually looked at the comments. And it is actually pretty crazy because it was, I don't know if I copied all of them. The number 1 was the clear winner. And now here's what's kind of funny. I think this is interesting.
Yeah.
We highlighted number 1. This is one I haven't seen before. And this has nothing to do with testing. It's just kind of I don't know what you'd call it. Something just to have in the back of your head. For those of you in this space, t-shirts or mugs or whatever, usually you come up with a niche. I mean, this is how we typically do it. We'll come up with a niche, right? Let's say it's nurses. Then we'll go to Pinterest and we'll search for nurse quotes. And then we'll sort them by engagement and we'll look like, oh, this one has a lot of engagement. Hey, Marv, make a design based on this saying, right? That's, excuse me, that's where we start. Now, this design, the abuse any animal, go to jail, it should be that simple. This was the first design my wife and I did 3 or 4 years ago when we first got into trying to sell a t-shirt. Now, we didn't know that you're supposed to go to Pinterest or Google and search for phrases that people like. We love dogs. We said, let's come up with a no abuse. So we sat there for 5 minutes going back and forth, coming up with a saying. No one has ever used this saying because we made it up. It's actually kind of weird. It's like abuse any animal, go to jail. It should be that simple. I mean, now, meanwhile, I rescued my best friend. We got all of these other designs by going to Pinterest, and then doing our own take on these popular phrases. Well, that's what everyone is doing. So sometimes it pays not to do that and actually try to be original. I know, too much work.
I know that. And it actually, one of the other, I had breakfast with Corey today, and we were talking about this case study that we're doing. And he was, I was saying, Dan loves his dogs. He's a dog rescue guy. So it's very, he's passionate about the niche as well. Of course, I don't care. I don't have dogs. I don't like dogs. I don't like cats. Anything that ties me down to my house is something that frustrates me. So
Dwight likes to be able to go to a Motel 6 at the drop of a hat.
Yeah. Anyway, we we were talking about this, and I said, like it really, really doesn't really matter. Like you can be passionate or not passionate about the niche that you're focusing on. We have been in niches that nobody really cares about, and we've done very well. We've been in niches that we're very passionate about and fallen flat on our faces. I mean, it really doesn't matter, but sometimes you get, a saying like that because you're passionate about the niche, because what, hits the buttons of the people in the niche. Whereas, when you're not that passionate about the niche or you're not as involved in it, you maybe don't have the your thumb on the pulse of the niche, and that can make a difference in some cases. And the other thing is that if you are passionate about the niche, you could be like, oh, I love getting up every day and finding ways to help pet rescue and sell shirts and make money and all that sort of stuff. Or you could be like me and just want to sleep in and don't care if you get up and help a dog find a family or anything like that.
Even saying that out loud, can you see how much of a monster you are? You just said the sentence, I don't even care. Oh, I want to help a dog find a home. I want to sleep in. God, monster.
Exactly. But sometimes it helps, sometimes it doesn't. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, Danny boy.
All right. Well, so that is a nice portion of the atomic testing method. If you do this now, will it really guarantee a winner? Well, it's not. There's no guarantees in life, but you're going to have a better shot. The more information you have, to a certain degree, like we said in the beginning, we could keep testing forever and ever and ever until we get perfect isn't necessary. We just want to have an idea of something that's going to catch. If it catches, let's throw some money at it and see if it actually catches on a big time. And that's how all of our winners have been.
That's right. So Dan, on the next call.
Oh man, on the next call. Well, we are going to have the call tomorrow because you're going to be staying there a little longer.
Yeah, I'm here till Tuesday now.
So, okay, at this point, if you've been following along, you have a bunch of opt-ins coming in. Okay. Now that you understand how to test properly, you have a potentially winning product. So now what's next? We're going to give you a tool that will help you analyze every step of this process, soup to nuts. It's going to be like, this is how much top to bottom, the whole kit.
Enchilada.
No, the whole enchilada, but I'm telling you, there's two things: the whole kit and this one and caboodle. Understand? The whole kit and the caboodle.
And the caboodle.
And it will tell you how to optimize the entire thing so you can actually look at how much profit you're going to make. And we told people on yesterday's call that people were asking specific things, and we kept telling you, like, well, let's table that until the third call. This is the call that we talked about, because I get it. If even we said yesterday, well, $25 a day, let's start with a small budget. Well, $25 a day for 30 days, that's a lot of money, right? I mean, so it is a small budget when you understand what you can do.
Yeah. And
then it is a laughably small budget. I mean, so we're going to talk more about that in the next call. And it is pretty cool stuff. So that is a big part of the atomic testing method. So now let's do
Q&A. That would be question and answers, not Queer and his buddy.
Hold on, I got to make a note. Okay, got to edit that.
Bad Dwight. Somebody hit him with a rolled up newspaper. That happened long ago. That's, I think, another one of those reasons I got this thing.
Friggin' dent in your head.
They put a rock in the rolled up newspaper and smacked me with it.
Okay, here's a question about targeting. Do you always do that split level test?
I
No, well, no, because it it depends on what the audience is, right? Like if we're gonna do like a the Seattle Seahawk design, what we might do is instead of going with Seattle Seahawks, we might do like a secondary interest, like Russell Wilson, like their quarterback. That might be the only interest we use because we know, well, if somebody actually, if you like in my case,
yeah, that's true, but yes, but I would always caution Dan on the targeting because I like to start with the large niche and then narrow from there so that you're always confident that you get, in the sports niches, for example, a quarterback can play for 3 different teams over his career, and you never know which
all
team
right, good point,
the fan might come from.
So
always use the large audience and then narrow down your audience at that point. Yeah.
To a secondary audience.
Yeah.
And then again, if you can, because ultimately you want to sell a product, if you can, try to go with a buyer keyword. Again, like what I think we talked about it yesterday. Like if we were doing the Seattle Seahawks again, the secondary interest I might use would be like the name of a store or a website where you can buy Seahawks gear. Because theoretically those people are buyers, right?
Just got to move that.
Let's see. How big was the audience for this test? I forgot how big it was. It was pretty hefty. Do I not have it on here?
No.
I think this was like a pretty insane number. It was like 500,000 or something.
Yeah. And that number, I mean, what that number is really, just make it big. Don't worry about it. If it's a 500,000, 2 million, 5 million, that number is irrelevant. If you've gone with the large audience and narrowing it down to something, I'm not looking for you to narrow it down to 100,000 or whatever it is, because it's just a test. You want to get feedback. So
now here's why we love going with the big numbers though to start. If that test takes off and you've got a clear winner, you've got an ad, you got everything else set up. Well, how long can you run an ad with 500,000 people on it? Like, my God, you could run it forever and it could just keep going. This is how people have these like t-shirts or products where you can sell 6,000, 10,000, 20,000, like our Texas Strong. It just kept going and going and going. And remember what our targeting was for Texas Strong? It was Texas.
People lived in Texas.
Yeah.
So there you have it. There's a question. Let me go back to the questions here. Tomorrow or Friday? I found out this morning that I have to stay here with my mom until Tuesday. So we're going to be doing the call tomorrow. I was actually traveling back to Calgary. I was tentatively scheduled to travel back tomorrow, so I wasn't going to be available. So now that I'm here till Tuesday, we're going to run our next call tomorrow, and we're going to leave Friday as also scheduled, because I know we're already have content for Friday as well.
So we already have four parts of our 3-part series.
Yep. Yeah. So how many days do you test for a winning design? We test usually 3 to 4 hours, maybe.
Yeah, we go and like I said, if we can spend $25, great. If in $25 we have a clear winner, that's what we want. If it's just a little too close to call, we'll go another $10 or so. But pretty soon we just have to cut our losses and say, this is bullshit. Let's regroup. And that's where, like in this case, we did we took the top 2 and tested that way.
Okay. Have you thought of using messenger bots? And I'm not entirely sure exactly what the messenger bot question is, but we're talking about building an asset for your business. Having a list built in a messenger bot that still retains ownership and understanding of the actual list in Facebook is not an asset that you have or control. So yes, we like messenger bots and we use a messenger application to do a bunch of stuff, but we're not building lists there and
We are
thinking that
using it simply as a tool.
yeah, we're using the tool portion of it to communicate, but we're not building our lists there because that's not an asset that we would be able to build up for um, for our business. So hopefully that answers whatever question it was you were asking. And if it didn't, I just wanted to make sure that people understood that that's what we think of messenger bots. Loves his mom, but not his dog. That's correct. Loves his mom, but not his dog. What time do you start your ad, Danny boy?
That Roy, that is a good question. Oh my God.
Because Danny doesn't know. If you could tell him when to start.
We start the ad. When should we start the ad? When we're ready to start it.
There's no time.
That's it. We don't do now. We do have specific rules when we're scaling an ad, but honestly, we don't do much of that anymore. We don't really do that. Like we used to let's start all our new ads for direct sales at 10 a.m. and then we're going to do this at midnight. And,
we're rule breakers.
Now we just we want to get our friggin' data. Let's start. Now, it might not make sense to do it at the middle of the night.
Well,
2 o'clock in the morning.
Depends on if you live in the UK and you're wanting to target an American audience. But yeah, we typically run them at any time during the day when we think, we need to run this test. We're ready for it. Boof, it just goes.
Yeah.
Could you provide us a link to the template design of the previous webinars? Okay.
Write that down.
Let me do this, Danny boy. Let me do this. I'm going to share my screen differently here. Let me share it again. Yeah. I'm going to share this one and hit share. Okay. Let me do this. Can you see that? Does it look good?
I don't really know what it looks like.
Okay. Well, let me make it there. Okay. So I'm going to go into the list built like in the Marketing 101 when you registered. Let me just do this. So, because there's a couple of questions about this. Okay, so Marketing 101 Club, you'll come to our main page. There's a register for free button. Just click there and sign up. Okay, once you've signed up, it should come up with a little registration thing. Sign up, new user, fill out your information. Bada bing, bada boom. Okay. Or if you've already done that, click on the members area button and it should take you to the login page. It's probably going to take me straight to the dashboard because I'm already logged in. But you would log in, and then here we're having list building crash course. This is what we are talking about. So all of the replay videos of our calls are going to be on here. And we've already added a couple of supplemental videos that are not part of our 3-part series that's now been extended to 4 parts because Dan wanted to make sure you had an understanding of how to use the ad template, as well as we're probably putting the new ad template in there or the testing part. But then the downloads is actually where the templates and the downloads are. So you would just go here, click here to download the template, and the ad copy that we use is right here for you to copy. And as soon as Danny gets me the text for or the template for the ad image for the 4 banger and the 2 banger, let's include both, Danny, 4 and the 2. And they'll be on this page as well for the download. So hopefully that answers your question. Yeah.
Julia says, how does today's testing topic fit with the giveaway grabs from yesterday? Are these consecutive or concurrent steps? Okay. So in order to give you the overview of list building, which we did yesterday, we kind of had to play, we had to Quentin Tarantino this thing. We had to kind of play with the timeline a little bit, because in order to show you the entire process, we had to assume that a couple things already happened. One of those things, if you remember in the flow chart, we target people, they comment, we reply to a comment with a link. That link sends them to an opt-in page. They opt in and they land on an offer page. On that offer page, it says like, hey, today so-and-so won. If you didn't win, don't worry, buy this shirt, right? Well, that shirt is what we're talking about today. Okay, so you want to have a winning product that you can put on that offer page. So if you have a product that tested really well and then you put it in front of the right audience, the better chances of them buying. So it is definitely, it is both consecutive and concurrent. Like you definitely want to have the winning stuff. And that's why we decided to do this entire module of the training, because it's pretty important. But we did not want to make yesterday's call to be 5 hours long. So
because we can't take it. We're fat, lazy guys, and we need to take her easy. So how do we register for tomorrow's webinar? You go back to the original registration link that we sent out in all the emails leading up to this series, and the new date has been added. You should be able to, let me just see here, go back to my webinars. Let's just go to links, click on here, go to, okay, you can't see my screen. Let me do this, and let me go back to, where is the thing? Of course, I just assume everybody can see my screen. Hey, that's funny.
Well, the thing is, and this is something we've talked about a lot, you should never assume.
Because that makes you an asshole, Danny boy.
That's right. Well, it makes you an asshole.
Can you see my screen now?
Yeah.
Okay, so you just come back to this. If you hit register, you will pick the date, and Thursday is now in there, and you just register for the same time and hit register now, and you'll be rocking and ready to go for the new. It's Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, because today's is running right now, and Thursday and Friday is coming up, and that'll get you where you want to go. Cool.
That's right.
Thanks for explaining that. I think I get it. Awesome.
Happy you get it.
Awesome. Well,
yeah, this is a kind of a fun thing to do. You know, the testing, I don't want to ever say testing is fun, but after you kind of get the whole concept down, our whole thing, because we are fat and lazy, we try to tilt everything in our favor.
Yeah.
We're kind of like those crabs that hide in the sand, and they just sit in that sand all day with their mouth open, and then they wait for a bug to walk in. That's what we do.
Yeah, that's it. That's exactly.
I'm hungry now.
Okay, well, I think that's it. We're at 43 minutes. This was an awesome call. Any more questions? If you hit me now, good. If not, we're going to take a break and get out of here.
And then tomorrow we're going to give you that tool that will change your life.
Change it. Change your perception of list building forever.
No, change your life.
Either way. That's it. That's all we got, folks. The webinar replay will be posted shortly. There's a couple of new videos there that are just helpers to use the templates that we're posting up there. Danny's going to get me those to put those on there, the PSD files for those two. I'll zip them up and get them on the site. And we will see everybody tomorrow, Thursday, 5 p.m. Eastern. See you then. Bye-bye.